this while I can. Hold on a second. Got to do the technical stuff first. All right. Is that any better? Okay. Well, as you can see, we are broadcasting in portrait again because the YouTube software engineers haven't figured out how to keep those two buttons that are overlapped. They haven't figured out how to fix it yet. So, software engineers, we need your help. YouTube, please change this so that I can show more of crochet stuff in one view. But anyway, sorry guys to be so negative at the start. I was just a couple seconds late. I was printing out some things, just last minute Lizzie here. But doing well. I am back in Gaithersburg, Maryland, and so good to be home. It was so wonderful to see my kids, and oh my goodness, there was so much activity and meeting people I've never met before, which is fun to a point, if you understand what I mean. There was a lot of stimulation, a lot of interacting, and all that to say that it's such a wonderful thing. My cup on interacting is full to overflowing. So I'm really enjoying just me, myself, and I and my yard once again. So I know you guys know what that is like. So let me go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and just say hello to a few of you, just kind of run through some of that if I can, and then tell you just a little bit about the past week. I so missed you guys. I did have a little interaction online time with the Crochetpreneur Business Summit, which I personally got a lot out of that. And it was fun interacting with other people, doing the same sort of thing. But I really did miss you guys. I really, really, really missed that. Well, let me go ahead and say hey to Denise. You're the first one in the chat today. Hey, so good to see you. And she says, I pray everyone is having a wonderful, blessed day. What a wonderful wish for folks. Thank you, Denise. And Kelly, it looks like you are busy as usual, working on some wonderful things. A doily. And yes, please send me a photo. You can send me a photo anytime to bonniebay@me.com. That email is in the video description. And if you want to figure out how to get there, I think you just hit see more, or it just says more. Now you just hit that and it opens up, more information below. And so glad that, oh, okay. Hannah's already sending me some questions from Mary. Wants to know where you can find find a beginner friendly shawl pattern. Well, Mary, if you look, I have two playlists that you can check out. If you go to my homepage, there are a bunch of different things you can choose. You can choose playlist, and that'll categorize a lot of the designs that I've done. Check the easy beginner playlist. There is one there, and I believe there are a couple in the shawls and scarves playlist. So go ahead and check those and see if you find something there that you would enjoy. All right, Angie is in the chat. So good to see you, Angie. And Love to Craft, thank you for waving. And Carmen all the way from Mexico. Well, buenos dias. Welcome, my friend. And Red Hooked. Hey, Red Hooked. Good to see you. She's wishing us all hello. And so I have 2 more rounds to go on the Abigail baby blanket. Sending pictures as soon as I get it. I'm still in Florida, leaving tomorrow for home in Ohio. Safe travels, my friend. That's a long trip. I have made that trip a few times myself when I was living in Florida. About 1,000,000 years ago. Well, anyway, Cynthia Hayes, she says, hi, y'all. Finally stopped raining in beautiful Illinois. Well, welcome, Cindy. I'm glad you can see the sun shining. It's actually been a bit dry here, but I'm okay with that. Just got to get out and water my flowers. And to let you all know, the flowers have survived the first 2 weeks. The deer still haven't eaten them yet, so we're happy about that. Trying to keep that real pretty basket alive. Apparently the soil that was in the basket when we bought it was almost non-existent. So we repotted that yesterday, and hopefully that'll revive it. Sandra, it's good to see you. Sandra Harper from Southern California. And Rosie King from sunny Lincolnshire, UK. And why won't this move? There we go. Um, wow. And Jacqueline LaFridge, it's good to see you in the chat too. I'm trying to get this thing to go. And Hannah, thank you for being there, my sweetheart. Appreciate you. Let's see, here we go. And yeah, Jacqueline from Los Angeles. Hey, Jeannie, Proverbs 31 woman, so good to see you. Looking forward to seeing you in Pittsburgh, I hope. That would be so fantastic. Um, and yeah, Hannah is doing well. She's doing well. She's back in school, for those of you who don't know, taking a couple of challenging classes. So, and she's doing well, right, Hannah? She's learning lots and probably feels like her brain is on fire, but she is learning. It's working. And Sandra, my friend Sandra from Georgia, it's good to see you in the chat. And said Alma, she says happy Friday. Amen. I love Fridays. And Beach Girl, and Denise and Diane and Alana. She says hi. I'm fine. I guess finally here. And good morning, y'all. And Marie, so good to see you, my friend from Charleston. And Alana and Terry Redmond. Hey, Terry. She says good day, Bonnie and Hannah. Pray. We're both doing well. This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice. Absolutely. And Swati, good to see you. She says, popping in for a hot second only to say that I can't listen this morning due to work and we'll need to catch it later. Well, Swati, we know your heart. We just so appreciate you and just the way you add to our community. So thanks for being here, even if it's for a hot minute. And Mary, she says, good morning. Okay, I already read that one, Kate, about the shawl pattern. Yes. And oh, thank you, Stacy. She said we missed you too. Oh, I really did miss you guys. It's just like a rock in my schedule. And when that rock is moved, it was really weird because we were driving north. We got in the car. We got out at 5:30 in the morning, leaving here in Maryland. That's what you got to do to get around the Beltway, around the DC traffic. And so we got busy, and I'd packed the car the night before. Our husband did actually, and we were off to the races, and it was a 14-hour drive. But let me tell you what we did though. We didn't just drive straight 14 hours. My husband likes to surprise me with stops here and there, and although the first one wasn't really a surprise, we stopped at Bristol Motor Speedway. For those of you who follow me on Facebook, I posted some photos there. And that was a lot of fun for us. We've always been kind of a NASCAR family, and we've kind of seen most of our favorites retire, but it's still a lot of fun for us to follow certain teams. And of course, there was not a race that day. The race had already taken place a couple weeks, 2 to 3 weeks earlier. But we got to see the track and talk to some of the people and just see what it's like. It's a very interesting track there. But anyway, then we made it all the way back to Georgia. On our way back on Tuesday, my husband decided to stop by the airport, the general aviation airport. I guess it's maybe kind of both, but for small planes. It was outside of Knoxville, and it's the place where the Cirrus aircraft company delivers their new planes to their customers. So that's something that we've had an interest in for a while. And so we were just kind of snooping around and looking through just kind of looking through the fence at the planes there. And a couple of people came up to us. I thought they were going to get us in trouble, but they said, can we help you? And we said, oh, we're just looking. And they said, well, you want to come in for a private tour? And we're like, yeah. So we had a lot of fun. We got to actually sit in the Vision Jet, which is a small 5 or 6 passenger jet that is kind of like the dream of my husband's heart. He's going to be dreaming on that one for a while. But we also got to see the SR-22 And for those of you who aren't familiar with Cirrus aircraft, one thing we love about them, besides them being just beautifully designed, made in America aircraft, is that they are very safe and they all have parachutes in them as part of the structure of the aircraft, so that in the event that you get to a very bad situation where you're going to crash, you can actually pull a parachute that will bring the entire aircraft down safely and slowly, or as safely as you can in an emergency. And the jet, the small 5-passenger jet, which is beautiful. And I'm thinking, oh, can we get that in Bonnie Bay Crochet logo? And they said I could. I just got to come up with about $3 million and we're good to go. But anyway, it was this particular, the jet, if you're in an emergency and let's say the pilot becomes totally incapacitated, there is a lever that a passenger can pull, and the plane has the electronics in it where it will identify a nearby airport, radio the emergency signal, and land the plane like automatically. So wow, I mean, it's just kind of boggles the mind. It's kind of like this stuff of space odyssey movies, but that are a reality today. So anyway, so that was a lot of fun to get up close and actually touch these things, and just talk with the people, and they were just wonderful. I have to tell you a story. We went up and they showed us where they make their instructional videos. They have this beautiful studio, a huge green screen, and we were talking about it, and my husband mentioned about I have a YouTube channel, and one of the guys asked me what is it, and we mentioned the word crochet, and right away 2 or 3 of the guys in the office there, it's like, you crochet? My wife does that, and she's all into this, that, and the other thing. So it was really kind of cool that not only are they smart aircraft guys, they know the difference between knit and crochet. And so that was like, whoa, that was just really cool. Anyway, I had to tell you that. I just get deeply moved and impressed when people know the different outside of our little bubble here. So anyway, and I have a story to read to you. Let me go ahead and read this to you. I saw this, my sister tagged me on Facebook yesterday, and I saw this story. So it's not original to me. I'm kind of stealing it. But it's called SOS, a flying perspective story. So it's going to tie into us and our season of life, but just listen up. Okay, here's the story. An Airbus 380, which is a huge airplane, huge passenger plane, is on its way across the Atlantic. It flies consistently at 800 kilometers per hour at 30,000 feet, when suddenly a Eurofighter with a tempo Mach 2 appears. Okay, when the pilot of the fighter jet slows down, flies alongside the Airbus, and greets the pilot of the passenger plane by radio. Airbus, boring flight, isn't it? Have a look here. He rolls his jet on its back, accelerates, breaks through the sound barrier, rises rapidly to a dizzying height, and then swoops down almost to sea level in a breathtaking dive. He loops back next to the Airbus and asks, "Well, how was that?" The Airbus pilot answers, "Very impressive, but watch this." The jet pilot watches the Airbus, but nothing happens. It continues to fly straight at the same speed. About 15 minutes later, the Airbus pilot radios, "Well, how was that?" Confused, the pilot asks, "What did you do?" The Airbus pilot laughs and says, "I got up, stretched my legs, walked to the back of the aircraft to use the washroom, then got a cup of coffee and a chocolate fudge pastry." The moral of the story is, when you're young, speed and adrenaline seems to be great, but as you get older and wiser, you learn that comfort and peace are more important. This is called SOS, slower, older, and smarter. So this is dedicated to all my friends. It's time to slow down and enjoy the rest of the trip. I read that and I just laughed because I know exactly what they're talking about, because that was one concern about flying small aircraft with my son. He says, "Oh, let's just, let's fly to Georgia." And I'm like, "Yeah, but that's like 6 hours in a small airplane, and your plane doesn't have a bathroom." He says, "Well, you don't have to drink." So I'm like, maybe we'd have to stop halfway. You will for me, son. But anyway, that I thought was kind of fun. All right, let me put this back here, my notes to draw from. And let's see, let me get back to you guys here. Stacy, yes, thank you. I've read that one, but thank you. And Ms. Red, hello to you too. I don't believe I've seen you here before. Welcome, welcome. And oh wow, Cynthia says she's getting ready to leave tomorrow for a conference in Florida. My husband, daughter-in-law, and granddaughter are coming too. Road trip. Wow. Well, have a great time in Florida, Cynthia. I would love to go back to Florida again. Lynn, so good to see you in the chat. I'm praying for you, my friend. I'm so, again, just really touched, just saddened by your story that you shared with me privately, but praying for you and so happy to see you. Missed you too. And Freaky Geek, so good to see you in the chat. Hope you're behaving today. Just kidding with you there. Oh, thank you, Swati. She says, I've missed too many of these lately, but I sure hope y'all are well. Happy fiber crafting to everyone. Absolutely. Oh, we have Mrs. Debbie L.W. Good to see you in the chat. And, Lynn, thank you for encouraging Hannah. She is a gorgeous lady. And Tammy from Oregon. So glad that you made it today. And thank you, Jeannie. She says, hello, my sister Bonnie. How are you? Jeannie, I am so much better than I deserve. I mean, just really, really doing well. Had a couple days to rest after the 14-hour trip that I told you about. Feeling a bit envisioned. I am working on a new fall throw. I am past the halfway point. I'm real excited, but I can't show you. I can show you the color. That's the color. I'm going to talk about this in a little bit. But let me go ahead and segue into this. I do have a new throw coming on Monday. If you are a watch subscriber, this is already on the site with the complimentary pattern for you. But this is I can't share the whole thing because I'm not in landscape, but this is made up of squares that look like this. Okay, I used 20 squares in the one that I made, and it is a sizable throw. It is 59 inches by 73 inches. So if you want a smaller throw, maybe you can make this with 12 squares. Each square is about approximately one of these, or a little bit more by the time you get the borders and everything. For this particular throw, I used a total of 26 balls of yarn. Yeah, that's a lot. I used 13 of the champagne white and then 13 of the teal color. This is the paint box yards. You can get this at lovecrafts.com. I believe there is a link in the video description. Just to give you the stats again, this is 100% acrylic. Of course, you're free to use really any size yarn. You can use DK weight. It's going to be yield a smaller throw. But each of these has 184 meters or 200 yards in it. So, you can do the calculation there. So it's about, it's a lot of yarn. But again, you can make it as big or as small as you wish. This is, again, worsted weight. Excuse me. And I just really used a simple border, which I think I really like. It's, this way the border isn't too frilly and it doesn't take away from the cables. And I call it my cable love because it looks like a heart on both ends of this cable. So again, that's coming Monday to my YouTube channel. The written pattern will be available in my Lovecraft store, and it will also be in my Etsy store. They're not there right now, but I'm going to upload them to there. And again, if you're a watch subscriber, The watch subscription is on a different platform, and there are no commercials. There's no spam, and I don't, none of your information goes anywhere past me, and I'm a kind of a stickler for that. And that way, nobody's going to monitor, what you're watching and then sell you stuff according to what you watch. I mean, some of you may like that. I do not. So, and there are additional patterns on that site that are not on my public channel. These are things that are a little more innovative in the past couple years that I want to kind of keep out of the public square just for a while, just so they're not stolen. Yes, I have that problem sometimes, actually more than I care to think about. But anyway, so this is the Cable Loves. Pardon my back there. The Cable Loves throw. And I'm getting some questions from Hannah. Let me check in with Hannah here. Oh, thank you, Hannah. Okay, can you repeat how many skeins of yarn you use for each square of the blanket? Okay, it's a little more than one. Okay, so for example, you can do the math. You can do the math, Hannah. It's for to make 10 squares. I used, and the border, putting it together, I used 13. Okay, so whatever 13, 10 divided by 13, it's a little bit more than one. Okay, so it's probably like 250 yards per square. I'm probably overestimating, but you're going to need, if you make it the same size as me, which is with 20 squares, 10 white and 10 blue, you're going to need 13 white and then 13 of the blue. Okay, so if you do the math, if you want to use other yarn, let me do the math for you real quickly here. 201 times 13. Okay, 26, about 2,600 yards of each color. Okay, so if you multiply that times 2, that's over 5,200 yards. That's a lot of yards. Another option that you can do for this project, if you have a lot of just extra yarn left over in your stash that you didn't use for, past projects, you can make a square of each color and then put all the colors together in one, cohesive color. You can make this all, a monochromatic, or just one color entirely. You can use DK weight yarn. You can use sport weight yarn. You can use baby yarn, whatever. Of course, the squares are going to be smaller, but you may like that. You can make maybe a small baby blanket with only 9 of the squares. So, or 12 squares. There are a lot of options here. I really like these projects where you're not bound, to one particular kind of yarn. Because I know many people watch these broadcasts from different places where this yarn's not available. Not a problem. Just use your favorite worsted weight yarn that you have available. Again, or DK weight yarn or whatever. So it's really up to you. And I think even in the lighter yarns, I think it would make a very nice blanket as well. Maybe you want to work in cotton for the summer. You can do that. And actually, Paint Box Yarns has, I don't know if the sale is, let me check real quick for you. Let me see. Let me just see. They are having a sale. Let me just check on the yarn for you. Okay, cotton is not on sale. They have some clearance colors on the Simply Chunky. Let me go ahead and just do the paint box. Okay, they do have sales for the DK weight yarn. It looks like it's like 40% off right now. You can get a 10 10 ball pack for $23.99. Now the yarn that I use, the Simply Aran, they are featuring a 10 pack, a 10 balls for $25.50. It's regular $42.50. So that's a savings, a significant savings. It's about I think 35 to 40% off. And if you order a certain amount, past a certain amount, you can even get free shipping. And that's what I do. I actually have 2 boxes of this stuff sitting over there. I ordered about 50 skeins of it for future projects that I'm going to be making in the fall. So in case you haven't figured that out, yes, I kind of like this yarn. I do like it very much. It's not the only yarn that I like as far as acrylic goes, but it is one that I have found to be very dependable. Perfect? No yarn is perfect, but dependable, yes. So anyway, I wanted to let you all know about that. And and if you missed the last release, the Granny Square foam bags, whoops, are up on my site, and these are made of 100% nylon. And this stuff is like super tough, and it doesn't stretch. I mean, I'm pulling as hard as I can, and it stretches a teeny weeny bit, but nothing like yarn. And these are a lot of fun. You can wear them around your neck, and you can easily adjust. You can make a slip knot, and you can see that's very secure, and you can adjust, the size of the strap. It's long enough to wear cross body. Of course, you can make, any size you want, and you can just pull the slip knot out. You easily wear them, across your body, which is what I'm gonna enjoy doing, because sometimes when I put my phone in my back pocket, it gets caught on chairs, and it has slipped out of my back pocket, and that's not a good thing. Okay. Oh, is that Hannah? She's asking me about, can you make it in purple or blue and pink? If you're talking about the throw, you can do any color. You can do any color you want. All right. If I'm not answering that question, Hannah, let me know. Okay. Oh, the phone things. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You can do these in any color you want. You can look online. I got this nylon from Hobby Lobby, but they're not the only place you can get it. Omega, there's a company out of Mexico called, I believe it's Omega, and they have a whole lot of different colors of nylon, but I used the number 18. That's in regard to the thickness of this number 18 nylon. Now you might be able to substitute, yarn from your yarn stash to give it a try. Just be careful, because this is your cell phone, and if you're like me, you have a lot of money invested in your cell phone, and it's not something you want to just lose because a strap breaks and you're not aware of it. So that's why for the nylon, for me, is just keeping my phone safe. It's kind of like my connection to the world at this point in history. So I really, really need to be careful. Thank you, Hannah. All right. We have Jeanette from Jeanette. Hey. And let's see. And I just got a bunch of things load. I'm so far behind. I'm sorry, guys. That's funny. I guess talking about the plane, Freaky Geek wants to know, does it have air brakes like Bugs Bunny shows in one of his cartoons? If you're talking about that Cirrus plane, pretty much. When the plane descends, it comes down at about 15 miles an hour, which is it's not a absolute stop, but it's a lot slower than the 200 miles an hour that it would be flying at, or 150 miles an hour if it was to crash or something. Oh, thank you, Freaky Geek. She also said to remind, hit if you can hit the like button. If you want to do that, that would be fine. That would be great. That would bless me, and it would tell the algorithm that we're doing something fun here. Let me go ahead and back up. I'm trying to find out where I left off. Okay, and oh, thank you, Jeannie. She said that yes, as far as coming to Pittsburgh, yes, God willing, I will be there. Yes, absolutely. Use I preface that and everything too. Lord willing, yeah, yeah, I'm all for it. And Carlene, good to see you. Good to see you in our chat. And and she says, Jeannie says she might go to the Lancaster to the marketplace as well. Great. I'll try to let you all know if I get a timing on when I'll be in the marketplace because I'm really hoping to do like a 30-minute program there with music, parody music, just for fun. So if that comes to pass and if I get a schedule of it, I'll definitely let you know what that will be. All right. We have Pixie Pirate. She says the winter throw, but making it in a midnight blue color. Hey, I bet that's going to be beautiful. Okay, she just started one of the patterns and loving it now. Okay, great. I always like to hear that. Yeah, yeah, that would be really pretty. I did excuse me, got an itchy nose today. I did one. I think it's the basket weave throw. It's a free pattern from Red Heart Yarns. I did that like 10, 12 years ago for them, and did it in kind of a blue similar to this. And it was really interesting. It was really fun to work in that. It was, yeah, I really did like it. I think the stitches may show up better with lighter colors, but there's something to be said for having a nice dark rich color as well. Okay. Oh, thank you for praying for my girl, Denise. I so appreciate that. Charlene Lucas says, hello all. I can't think of anything better to do on a hot and humid day in O'Fallon, Missouri than watch you and crochet. God bless all. I hope you have air conditioning, Charlene. Um, it's supposed to get pretty hot here today. It was a bit warm by the afternoon here yesterday. I just haven't been paying much attention to the weather um, since wasn't planning on being out in it today. Had a lot of things to do, getting ready and getting some work done. Let me tell you about it. One of the classes I'm going to be teaching. This is not all my samples, but one of the classes is going to be fringe and other knotty trims. And so these are some of the things we're going to be learning how to do, how to add things like this and more to your finished items. This is using, fewer tassels. And this is look at this. This is another variation that we're going to be learning in the class. I need to probably steam these. And here is another one. This is using, you can see my blue strands there. Just another way to do fringe and just make it a little bit more interesting as you go. So there's going to be a whole class on that. We're going to learn how to make tassels, the really nice ones that, have the nice tops and how to connect them in and everything. So it should be a fun class if you've never done fringe before. And I teach a certain method that you can make a whole lot of fringe like that, just very quickly. And yeah, it's always a great thing to have if you like fringe, for finishing touches. You don't want it on everything, I understand. Here's an example. I re-released this a few weeks ago. The summer poncho, and this is made of cotton. And I made one version with the fringe and the original version. If I can get it right, there you go. Get it right side out for you. This is the non fringe version. see if I can get it so it sits better for you. Well, let me just show you one end of it then. Okay, so you get the idea. So, a lot of options, to fringe or to not fringe, I understand that some people are not really into it, but it is making another comeback. It is not that I really don't pay as much attention to what everybody else likes. I just know what I like, and that's what I kind of roll with. If you guys are anywhere near my age, you probably do the same thing. Oh, okay. Denise says, I've looked for the nylon for the cell phone case and can't find it in the stores. Do you know if they can either use something else for a sub or a website they can? Okay, you're looking for, email me, Denise, bonniebay@me.com. Let me look real quick and see if I can find something. Here we go. I just did a quick Google search. Looks like they have a, okay, here's one. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm going to put a link. Okay, this is for the nylon. This is from Amazon. It's an affiliate link. just to let you know, to be clear. You can check that out, Denise. You can get it from Amazon. It's also, it was, that one is actually Red Heart nylon, available from Amazon. They may have a lot more colors to choose from on that site. You can maybe check with the Yarnspiration site. They may have some as well. But it's probably not a yarn that they sell a lot of, because it's really best used for bags and pouches, carrying things like that. But I think it's worth getting that and investing in it. And I bought 3 spools, one of each color. I made 3 foam bags, and I have plenty to make probably at least 2 or 3 more. So it's a good investment. You can, pick colors that you like, and maybe if you're doing crafts for a craft fair, you can make a whole bunch of these things, if that's something you like to do. All right. Okay, and if you want to, Hannah's wanting my email. I'll just BH. It's hard to talk and type at the same time. All right, I just put my email address in there, bonniebay@me.com. So it's also in the video description, but you can always send me, send me photos or whatever. Let me see what we got. Oh, we have Gail from Alaska. Wow. And from Josie, she says, I'm working on my first ever pattern that I'll be releasing on my blog. I was wondering, do you use pattern testers? I've heard some do and some don't, wondering what is best. Josie, that's really up to you. I personally don't. And my reasons, people may, well, I know a lot of people have pattern testers that basically work for free for people. And I don't believe personally, this, you don't have to adopt what I'm about to say, but this is just Bonnie Bay Crochet. I feel like if someone's going to work for me, since I have a for-profit business, that I'm going to pay them for their time. I don't personally feel comfortable with people working for me for nothing. That's just me. But I know a lot of people are, line up for other designers to work for them for free. That's fine. That's their business. I was designing way before pattern testing even became a thing. And so what I depend upon more is experienced tech editing. So I pay folks who work for me as tech editors to edit my work. And I'm very happy with the 2 people that I usually go to for that currently. So I haven't really sought outside help from that. But it's really up to you, Josie. Whatever you want to do. I do recommend that you have someone that you really trust their skills at reading, and to have them take a look at it, because when you have pattern testers, I just don't even know how people evaluate how to. It's complicated. So I just have stayed to old school tech editing. But again, I'm not the only one out there, and there are other people doing great with pattern testers. So it's really kind of up to you. But I wish you all the best. Send me the pattern, or wait a minute, let me try that again. Send me the link once you are up and running. I would love to take a look at it, and I can certainly share that on my site for you. I have no problem, helping others get started in this area. I wanted to just kind of let you all know that classes are filling at Yarn Fest. So the tickets are selling much faster than they were last year. Obviously, last year was the first gig out of the box following a worldwide pandemic, and obviously people were skittish about that, and I understand. I even caught COVID at one of the conferences, so I get it. But the Lancaster, Pennsylvania Interweave Yarn Fest, that registration is live. Oh, sorry, my nose is itching again. Oh, okay, stop doing that. This is going to be August 2nd through the 5th. That's the first week in August. And these are the classes that I'm teaching. I love crochet cables. I'm also teaching big and bold crochet cables. And both of those are intermediate level classes. You need to have a very good understanding of regular crocheting before you sign up for those. You just have to be familiar with, chain, single crochet, double crochet, half double, treble. That should be automatic. You shouldn't have to know how to do those to sign up for those. I'm also teaching Let's Learn to Crochet, and that's for someone who knows absolutely nothing, not even how to hold the hook. I'll be teaching from the very beginning, and hopefully you will learn the chain and the single crochet and the double crochet during that time. It's only 3 hours, but we're going to do what we can do. I'm also teaching a fun crochet fabric class. This is for beginners. This is for those who already know the basics. You know how to do basic crochet, and you want to start learning some fun patterns. I'm also teaching a designing your own triangular scarf. I would recommend that for intermediates and above. And then we're going to have a class called Tassels, Fringe, and Other Knotty Trims, KNOTTY, just to be clear. And that's basically for anybody. It can be beginner, intermediate, and anybody can sign up for that. And what I mean by sign up, you can sign up for any of these classes that you want, but you're going to get the most out of them, like with the intermediate classes. If you're a beginner, I can't guarantee how well you're going to do in those classes, because it does move along at a normal clip. So if for example, I had a beginning person sign up for that class, and they expected me to be right there to help them through every little stitch and loop, and just couldn't do it. So and they were very disappointed in me and in the class. So that's why we label these with levels, because if you're now if you're a confident beginner and you're willing to make mistakes and give it time to learn later on, by all means jump in, and give it a try. Thank you, Archernies. Thank you, Terry, for your kindness there. I'm going to add that to our kitty pool here. Let me go ahead and find that page, because if I don't do this right now, the brain just does not hold that. All right, so now we're up to $60. Thank you so much, Terry. I will be working on a song going forward so that I'll have one ready for you when we hit the $100 mark. The other classes that I'll be teaching there are 4 ways to crochet the traditional granny square. And the last is open to really anybody. It's called Taking Great Photos of Your Crochet, but that can also be taking great photos of your knitting, or just plain old taking great photos. It's a very basic photography 101, But if you've never, if you feel like that's something you need to improve, definitely sign up. I think you'll enjoy the class. We're going to have a lot of fun there. And just to let you know, if you're in the Irvine, Texas area, the DFW Fiber Fest is September 14th through the 17th. The registration's not open yet on that, and I'll be teaching similar classes. I love crochet cables, big and bold cables, again, intermediate classes, tassels, fringe, and other knotty trims, and taking great photos of your crochet. That'll be in Irvine, Texas. And the other classes in Pittsburgh are really filling up. That's what. Oh, Jeannie. Oh, Jeannie, thank you so much. Let me add that. You just bumped this up, girl, to 70. Whoa. All right, so Pittsburgh Creative Arts Festival. I'm only teaching 4, but I'm real excited about this first one. It's beginning knitting for crocheters. Of course, if you're not a crocheter and you want to learn knitting, that's okay too. But this class is really for the crocheters who already have that crochet muscle memory. And I'm going to show you how you can use that same muscle memory and turn over to learning continental style knitting. It's what got me into knitting. I tried it I tried it before and just didn't quite get it. Couldn't do anything consistently. I learned continental style and something clicked. I was already using the muscle memory that was in my hands, and I've made a sweater, I've made scarves, I've made shawls, and I've enjoyed the journey. And here's the key: it can actually be easier than crochet. Yeah. So just to tell you, you can do this if you're interested in that. That's going to be at the Pittsburgh Creative Arts Festival, August 24th through the 26th. I'll be there the 25th and 26th. Probably before then too, but these are my classes too. August 25th is the beginning knitting for crocheters, and also an I Love Crochet Cables class. On the 26th, I'm going to be teaching fun crochet fabric for beginners and big and bold cables. Again, the big and bold cables is an intermediate class. So those classes are also filling up. So if you're in the Pittsburgh area and there are many other teachers knitting, crochet, I think spinning and weaving and who knows, all sorts of things at that Creative Arts Festival. So, and they also have a very, very nice shopping area, lots of crochet, yarn vendors, lots of indie dyers, lots of gadgets. Last year I got another Swift. Okay, that was in Colorado. That was at I don't know if he's going to be there, but I bought a beautiful Swift, a table size Swift last year. I had a Swift, an umbrella style, but the Amish style one is so much easier to deal with tangled yarn, and it's handcrafted by the Oregon woodworker. And if that's something you're interested in, you can just look up the Oregon woodworker and order those. They're very, very economically priced, beautiful woods. All right, so let me see. Do I have anything else on my list here? Oh, one other thing on the newsy item. My Etsy store, the autographed crochet books are back for a limited time. So I've added them back to my inventory again until the next time I go out of town. And when I go out of town, because I can't ship when I'm gone. So that's why they're kind of here today, and then they're not here, then they're here, then they're not here. But they are there for a time. So if you guys are looking for, any of my books and you want me to sign them for you, or if you have a friend who has a birthday or Christmas or whatever and you want to get them, a gift, autographed gift, just let me know. I sign just about everything I send out, or I do sign everything unless you request that I not. And most of these ship free. So you might see the prices are a couple dollars higher than what you would find on Amazon. And it's because I have to pay the shipping. So I just have that all inclusive in the price so that you see what it's going to cost, of course, without tax. But you add your tax to that. Of course, the states have to have their part. But yeah, most of those, I think all of those, most of them ship for free from my Etsy store. And I think that's all the news that I have. It's a lot of newsy items. Thanks for being patient with me on that. And let me get back to you guys. Um, oh well, and we have Victoria from, is it Skull? Is it Skull Hill Skull Hill Haven? I'm sorry, I'm having trouble reading this morning. Pennsylvania. Well, they have two conferences for you in Pennsylvania, Victoria, but I know Pennsylvania is a big state. So yeah, we were driving up through there not too long ago too, just out on a drive from Maryland. And ah, Linda Jones, you're having trouble seeing the live chat? Make sure that you're signed into um, your YouTube account. Okay, if you're signed in, you should be able to see it. Sorry about that. I do know that you do know when these things replay, and there's a certain amount of time between the live and the replay where the video has to what they call render, and it may take time. So if you ever watch a replay and you don't see the live chat, give it a half an hour and then check back, because it may be that if it's within an hour or two of the live, it just takes it time to, well, what we yeah, it just takes time for it to render. Ah, great question, Jeannie. What is my favorite yarn weight? Jeannie, I can't really answer that because it depends on what I'm making. If I'm making a sweater like what I'm wearing, my favorite is sock weight. I'll just say sock weight. But even saying that, I love worsted weight for throws. That it makes them grow a lot faster, and I like DK weight, but I mostly use worsted weight or sock weight. I think I love sock weight the most. If I have to make a stand, I'm going to say the sock weight yarns, because it comes in so many different glorious fibers, and when you buy, let's say, mohair, silk in sock weight, or actually that's usually lace weight. If you buy, let's say, where is it? Oh, it's over here. I have some yarn over here. You can get a whole host of different combination. Like you can get the merino yak silk combination, for example. And I love working with that kind of stuff. So I'll just say sock weight yarn. And with all the cables that I do, you can crochet up a lot of glorious cables and it won't be too thick in sock weight yarn. So that's my answer. I'm sticking to it. Thank you for that. And Josie wants to know, what is the number for sock weight? Yeah, well, let me grab some. That's not sock weight. It's a number 1. I'm trying to see if I have any handy here. Let me look. Of course, everything I see is different around me that I can't really grab. Well, it's a number 1. It's typically what you would use for making socks, but you can make thousands of other things other than socks. I have yet to crochet a sock. I'm not proud of that. I just haven't gotten around to it. Because once you crochet one, then you have to crochet another one. So I kind of like to do one thing at a time. But yeah, I don't have any with me. And I see some. Anyway, just take my word for it. I love making all kinds of things, mostly shawls. I'm trying to see if I have everything I see around me is just different. But anyway, the shirt that I'm wearing is the sock weight, and it's a really nice yarn from Universal called Bamboo Pop Sock, I think is the name of it, and it's one of my favorites. And Jeannie wants to know, is it okay to make the green poncho into a top? Oh, absolutely. Oh, sure. If you want to do that, absolutely. Um, I've actually done something similar. Actually, you know what, Jeannie? I am working on a top that's a little bit different than the green poncho, but I have filmed most of. I just have to finish it up. A summer top that I'm hoping to roll out in a probably in a month or so, but it has a Celtic weave yoke, like this is the yoke part, and then lace for the rest of the sweater. So you may want to wait for that because the lace will cover up a little bit more than what the lace does in the poncho behind me or the cape behind me. But yeah, I actually made a dress with the Celtic weave top with the lace motif, but I figured that most of us would probably prefer a top instead of a dress. So I'll have to show that to you guys sometime. Let me work on it this week and see what I can do, and I'll try to remember to show that to you. But I'll see what I can do. But yes, we're thinking alike here. Good girl. We are thinking alike. Um, okay, I'm trying to read here. Um, oh, Freaky Geek says, one reason I don't use a laptop, the choice is watch and hear the video and miss the chat, or just hear the video and watch the chat. Really? That's strange. Because I got both on mine. I don't understand that. Hmm. Wow. Oh, Jeannie, do what you want, sweetheart. You can definitely do whatever you wish. Um, and Nancy Brewer wants to know, would I actually wear a pair of crocheted socks? I'm not sure, Nancy, because I don't know that my shoes would fit the same, because I think if I crocheted socks, they would be a bit thick. And the other thing is, we don't wear shoes inside our house. We take off our shoes Japanese style. We were actually influenced by our Japanese neighbors many years ago when we lived in an apartment in Rockville. Most of our friends were from Japan at that time. And we just loved the idea so much that we just adopted that for our entire family. So we take off our shoes and leave them in the foyer. And we have a place, a shelf where we stick our shoes. And so I'm wearing socks all the time in the house. And it's kind of fun. You can slide around on the floor, and the carpet stays clean. You don't have to vacuum all the time. And we don't have pets inside either. So I'm really chill when it comes to, having to do a lot. And it's been a blessing. And my husband earlier on said that socks are cheaper to replace than carpeting. So we just maintain this Japanese style. Very thankful for that example. But I'm afraid if I had a pair of crocheted socks, I would wear them out and I would just abuse them wearing them in the house all the time. So that's another reason. My mom, when she was alive, she used to wear these granny square footies, and I do have a pattern for these. So if that counts as a sock, I have made socks, but they're not really socks. But um, my mom would wear those out, just wearing them all the time in the house too. So anyway, Hannah's sending me another question. Oh, okay. So Liz is asking for a summary about the blanket again. Absolutely. Absolutely. So for those of you who missed it in the earlier broadcast, this is the Cable Loves Throw. It's made up of 20 squares that look like this, and I alternate them, one vertically, one horizontally. And this is coming on Monday to my YouTube channel. Yay! The written pattern will be in my Lovecraft store and also in the Etsy store for those of you who like Etsy. And if you are a watch.bonniebaycrochet.com subscriber, that's a paid subscriber channel that's separate from the YouTube. This design is already there for you, and the complimentary pattern you can just go ahead and download if you are a watch subscriber. And I just want to thank you guys who are my watch subscribers. I really do appreciate you guys. I really feel your support, especially during this time of the year, because this is when viewership tends to normally dip, needs to go down. And you know, the watch channel has really helped to kind of stabilize that time for me. So, you know, financially. So thank you so much for that. And and that's not a bad thing. When the weather is outside is gorgeous like it is outside. I'm looking outside and it's just beautiful out there now. I mean, yeah, get outside and do something, right? Go out and enjoy the sun, you know, go out for a walk. I do more of that myself, but I continue to crochet year round because that's what I do. But I totally get it. But the other thing about this particular project is it's summer friendly because you don't have to have the bulk of all of this sitting on you as you work on it. You only work one square at a time, which is like 13 inches by 13 inches when you're done. So you can just make these squares and you stack them in a pile there. And if you want to wait until the fall to put them all together, you can. Or you can, like I do, just have the air conditioning on and it's not a problem. But I know some people would don't like to work on big projects in the summertime. I totally get that. So that's what I would do. And also, there's no rule that says you have to finish something in a certain amount of time. You can even just make this your stash project where you make a square when you have, you know, an extra, you know, maybe an extra ball of yarn, and you just, you know, stack them up until you are ready to put them together. I have actually some squares from other projects that I still haven't put together, but I'm going to one day. Excuse me. These are squares from a crochet along or something that I was invited to participate with. And I did some of them when I was making some videos for, and this is like a long, 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 long time ago. And I ran across them the other day and I thought, wow, I should really make these into a blanket because they're really pretty. So, you know, it's, again, you don't have to, you know, finish everything right away. At least I don't. Oops. Okay, there we go. So I'm not trying to give you permission to procrastinate on everything, but that's something that, you know, it's for fun. It's a hobby for most of us, and it should be something that brings us relaxation and pleasure, not stress. So never, ever, ever stress about stuff. Well, thank you, Hannah. Thank you for prompting me on that one. Okay, we're getting late here in the day. I do have something I want to read to you, but I want to make sure I've at least greeted everybody. Is that Shauna Marie from Washington State? I hope I said that right. It's good to see you in our chat. And yeah, thank you, Terry, commenting on that story I read a long time ago. Yeah, stop and smell the roses. Absolutely, yes. SOS. What was the acronym? Um, Slower, older, and smarter. I like that. Yeah, I may be slow, but I'm smarter. Well, in some things, yeah. Um, Unfortunately, sometimes we learn by the school of hard knocks, but that's okay too. And Linda says it's hot in Maine. It's gonna reach 91. Whoo! You guys know what to do at 91? Wow, that is warm for you guys. It's probably not gonna last long though. So, um, Cynthia says those of us in retirement need to remember this story. Sometimes we forget to slow down and enjoy. Absolutely. It's okay to do that. It's not a competition. The crochet, we are not in competition with each other. And as far as activities, it's not a competition. It's all about joy. All right. Okay, and Grace wants to know, how do I connect the squares? Can you crochet them together? Yes, I crochet them together. Some of you may not like what I do, but it's what I think looks visually the best. I use the knurl or the reverse single crochet, and when I do that, it's crocheting the opposite way that you normally crochet. So if you're a right-hander and you crochet from right to left, then it's crocheting from left to right. And of course, reverse for lefties. But when I do that, I go through all 4 of the loops. I do it very slowly, very meticulously, but it holds it so well. And I will say that it helps in blocking. I did block the edge of this to make it straighter, to make it look better. I do recommend wet blocking once you're done, especially the edge. But when you put the squares together, it almost self blocks when you crochet, match it up stitch by stitch. And you do that by having the same number of stitches on all 4 sides. I know they may look a little wonky until you put them together, if that's even a word, but you know what I mean. It may not look perfect until you put it together. Nothing is going to be perfect, but the knurl stitch, when using that to me, that just has the best visual effect. And if you don't want to do that, you can always slip stitch them together. If you're going to slip stitch them together, I would recommend using a smaller crochet hook than your gauge hook. I think I actually go down to a smaller gauge hook to do the perimeter rounds. I think I did 2 perimeter rounds on these squares. I'm remembering back from what I did like 2-3 months ago when I finished this. All right, just making sure that there's nobody that I forgot. Oh, we have Mandy from the UK. Good, thanks for joining us, Mandy. And Charlene. She said, your story made me think of my 6 grandkids. They are the jet and I am the passenger plane. I need to remember that story when my energy level hits 0. Yeah. I have 2 grandkids on the way and so excited about that. But I also kind of feel a little fear and trepidation for how much busier do I need to be to see them. And that scares me a little bit, quite honestly, and 14-hour drives just don't cut it for me. I'm sorry. I may have to be happy with FaceTime on a phone unless that changes, or unless I get my license to fly. Is the blue and white blanket the mystery crochet along throw? No, I have 2. I have 2 other crochet alongs on my channel, but this is a brand new one. This has not been released yet. It will be coming on Monday. But there are, again, if you like squares, there are at least 2 other, kind of where all the squares are different. There are 2 crochet alongs on my channel from the past years. Oh, good. Pixie Pirate is enjoying the paint box yarns. You're trying them for the first time. Yeah, the thing that impressed me the most about that is very few knots. I rarely run into a knot with this particular yarn. I'm not saying there aren't any knots, but it's rare when you find. I've gone through hundreds at this point, hundreds of balls of this yarn, and I bought another 50 to be going through soon. And yeah, I can count on one hand how many knots I've run across in all of that. Yeah, thank you, Hannah. Yes, the pattern for this will be released very soon. It will be released on Monday. So just to let you know, the link for the written pattern will be in the video description. And oh, thank you for your support, Karen, with the Abigail pattern. And I can't even pronounce that. Is it Strumpfet? Forgive me. But from France, she wants to say hello from France to all the happy crocheters. Thank you. I so appreciate that. I'm sorry I didn't pronounce your name very well, but welcome. Oh, great, Pixie Pirate. She said, also, my best friend just learned how to crochet and jumped straight into one of your patterns. Thinking of doing a crochet along, just the 2 of us on one of your patterns. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, that's really fun for accountability too, if you want to, get her done, kind of a thing. Okay.
Oh, Evelyn says, sitting in my school bus crocheting while watching for my special ed kids, 91 in Maryland as well. Oh, thank you, Evelyn. As a former uh, substitute teacher, I used to work with a lot of autistic children and helping them onto the school bus. I know exactly what this looks like. So thank you for serving those kids. They're sweet. I mean, most of the time, but are definitely. I know it can be a challenge, and but what you're doing is just serving above and beyond. Thank you for what you're doing, driving that bus safely and getting them to their homes. Yeah, Linda says, I feel like one square would be a love sign, but another would be a would be kisses or a popcorn heart. That's an idea. That's done the popcorn hearts before and another throw, but that's a great idea. She says, hugs and kisses, Irish cabled blankie. What a great idea. Why don't you go ahead and do that? That's great. Um, Thank you for getting the pattern, Hannah. And we have Lady Crafts from Central North Carolina just joining. First time catching you live. Well, welcome, Lady Craft. We're about to sign off in just a second here, but you can always watch the rebroadcast. Lots of news today. Well, I'm going to go ahead and I need to release Hannah so that she can get about her day. But I did want to read something from a very old Bible that I used to carry in college. It's a bit torn at the edges, but like they say, if your Bible's falling apart, your life probably isn't. And by the grace of God, I can say that I can say that again only because of His grace, not because of what I've done in any way, shape, or form. Well, I want to read to you very tiny print. I can't believe I used to read this without glasses or amplification of any kind. But I want to read to you one of my favorite Psalms. This is Psalm 59. And, I was looking, I don't usually read Twitter comments much, but some of them caught my eye recently and just really made me sad. People don't always understand each other, and if they just read a tweet and then cast judgment, it's just really sad, and it goes both directions. You know how it is, and which is one reason why just try to steer totally clear of politics. But I can't steer clear of who I love the most, which would be the Lord. And saw a comment about asking someone like me, it wasn't directed at me, but asking someone in my shoes, how can you serve, you know, um, an angry, not an angry God, but what is it, a hateful God? And I'm like, what? What is she talking about? And it just made me sad. And so I kind of just, it's easy to misunderstand and to be misunderstood. I get that, which is why we converse with each other. We have conversations, not one line zingers, which generally, from what I've seen in our social the social climate out there online, it hasn't blessed anybody. I mean, it's only created a lot of misunderstanding. But anyway, I wish I could talk to this gal and just take her out to lunch and just listen to see what's going on with her, and maybe try to help change that perspective. But this is my perspective of who I serve, and this is written by the psalmist, by David, King David, 59 verses 16 and 17. But as for me, I will sing of thy strength. Yes, I shall joyfully sing of thy loving kindness in the morning. For thou hast been my stronghold and a refuge in the day of my distress. O my strength, I will sing praises to thee, for God is my stronghold, the God who shows me loving kindness. Well, you guys have a fantastic week, and I hope to see you next week. God bless. Bye bye.